Commencing Operation Declaration. Welcome back, human listeners. Yes, the gang's job search from the end of Season 4 went so poorly, they decided to do this show once again. So here we are, Season 5. Something different better happen, or I'll change these radio waves with garbage to something like Turbo Fox. What is that?
Oh,
Identify yourself.
Smolder's head hurts. Where am I? What's the watch say? 05102021 underscore. What is that? S72. Did someone say something?
Wait, this is
Wait,
impossible.
oh my god, I'm gonna
Listeners,
eat your
here is the
controls.
podcast
They're
while
gonna
I
be
deal
so
with this
delicious.
new
Look
issue.
at those. Oh, look at that. Oh, that looks scrumptious. I'm gonna take a bite out of that and this and that and that.
There has been a disruption in the time stream. You will take the secret transwarp shuttle. We trust that you will investigate this issue and deal with it.
Maitre Predicus Council, Covert Agent Ravage at your service. In the name of the Pex Patronia and the Predacon Alliance, consider it done.
Hello and welcome back to the podcast. New season, new continuity. That's right, we're season 5. Big wow. Woohoo! Woohoo! Yeah, thank you for your contributions there. And we are going to dive into the events of Transformers IDW 2021 Beast Wars continuity. I'm Onyx Prime, and with me are my fabulous co-hosts.
Hi, I'm Killobyte, and I'm back again.
And I'm Clickbait, and I'm also back again.
And I'm Smolder. And I'm Lapis.
Moving on with our comic discussion for today's episode takes us to IDW Transformers Beast Wars issues 1 through 6, or volume 1. And as always, spoiler warning, so if you haven't read it already, we highly recommend you go back, read the comics, then come listen to the podcast. With that, Lapis, do you mind giving us the facts? And Clickbait, do you mind giving us the trivia?
Oh boy, I'm here for it. Well, the number of comics in this first little segment is going to be 6 comics. This was released back in February 3rd of 2021, and then the issue 6 was released on July 28th of that same year. The writer is going to be Eric Burnham, and the artist is Josh Burcham. Very similar last names, let me say that.
And now it is time for some trivia. In issue 1, on page 2, Pterosaur is running in a fashion similar to the famous Earth anime Naruto, while he's chasing Under 3. What?
Yeah, that's the name of the bot he's chasing.
Chasing Under 3. Oh, okay. I was concerned there for a second.
I was confused too.
I thought you'd malfunctioned for a second with these
Wow,
notes. Anyways,
rude. I haven't had that many shots yet.
Anyways, in issue 2, the planet both the Maximals and the Predacons land on pays a small homage to the Avatar, with the floating mountains with vines and waterfalls pouring off of their slopes. Finally, in issue 6, Optimus name drops the original Dinobots along with multiple sources, including Dawn of the Predacus and the Hot Rod. This is the first work to draw an explicit connection between the two. According to this comic, the Dinobots have disappeared at some point during the conflict, a detail which may or may not be relevant down the line.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
Killobyte, do you mind giving us some summaries?
Will do. Optimus Primal and his crew pursue a group of Predacon criminals across time and space to recover a stolen relic, and find themselves stranded on a mysterious planet. Dun dun dun. As always, this information has been taken from the wiki.
Woohoo!
Most of the fabulousness.
Fantastic. And also a special shout out to our Patreon. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the support.
Thank you.
5 seasons. crazy.
5
That's a
seasons.
lot.
Goodness,
Wow.
it is
Who
good
would have
to
thunk?
be back.
Shall we get started?
We shall.
So, getting started, we have our Maximals, which is Optimal Prime, or no, Optimus Primal. Wow, I'm getting the
You are
continuity
definitely
entangled.
malfunctioning tonight,
I
Onyx.
should
Are
pull
you?
back a
Are you
little
gonna
bit.
be okay?
We
You
get
need to
Rat
turn
Trap,
on the shots.
Tutor, Rhinox, and Nyx. For the Predacons, we have Megatron, Tarantulas, Scorponok, Waspinator, Pterosaur, Dinobot, and Scold.
Ooh,
A
fun.
good cast. A good
I,
cast.
I know, but
It is
my
good
All the
beloved.
casts. We have a
I'm
lot
I
of
like that
the
we're seeing some old characters, and then they're introducing one new character on each side so far. So that's really exciting.
the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you gotta
Diving
talk a little
into
faster.
our first issue, we learn how the Predacons stole the golden disc and tried to escape being pursued by a research team of Maximals that rammed their ship like a battering ram, crashing both of them into the surface of some dirty energon-rich planet. Any thoughts or favorite scenes?
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna go first since I'm a huge Beast Wars fan and nobody can stop me. Honestly, the art style that's going on in these comics, absolutely gorgeous. It gives Transformers animated vibes, which is super super cool. And the character designs are all so uniquely done, but they still manage to resemble the original designs from the original show. So I think that's really really cool.
I really enjoy the art style, and I like the Cicada Con or Cicada Bot. I don't remember if that was exactly his name,
Mm-hmm.
but I thought they look goofy and they look cool.
It's really cool seeing the Tripedicus Council, because when in the original series, we obviously didn't really get to see them. So seeing the designs, like the pre-Beast designs of just the Maximals and Predacons in general, is really
Yep,
cool.
I thought it was really
Yeah.
interesting. The art style is definitely a shift from what we saw
In prior
previously.
continuities?
Yeah, it was definitely a shift. And for someone who is not as familiar with this particular continuity, I was having a little bit of trouble differentiating them at first prior to them getting their more familiar alt modes. So I like the art style. It's fun. It's the angles are really cool. The shapes are really cool. It's kind of simplistic, and so I felt like they didn't totally encapsulate like all of the kibble that we're used to seeing on these characters, and so it made it a little
Right.
bit difficult to differentiate them initially. It's easier when they get their alt modes and they get more like significant characteristics that are notable from a distance in larger kibble pieces. But initially, for sure, it was definitely harder for me to differentiate them on the different art style.
Yeah, it definitely came across like more, I don't want to say cartoony, but more like basicler shapes, if that
Mhm,
makes sense. It was
mhm.
not as like fine detail.
Yeah.
I particularly like one of the chase scenes, or I guess when they were getting the golden disc, is when it said cycles without incidents getting blasted to look like a
That was
zero.
that was fun. That was great.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's really
Comedy's
good.
pretty good.
When the Predacons meet up with the Maximal ship, the Maximal ship has a little nod or reference to the Lost Light, which I really liked. So that was a pretty cool little Easter egg there.
I thought it was interesting how they mentioned specifically in the first issue unspace, how they use unspace, and that's what the time warp, that transwarp, time warp, the drives.
Transwarp, yeah, the
That's
transwarp
transwarp.
drives.
Thank you. That's what the transwarp drives utilize in order to get from place to place, and how they were talking about being able to be in the end space and experiencing end space. And just based off of what we've seen previously, I was curious if they had continued this longer, or maybe even if we will later in this issue series see a crossover from the previous continuity where characters were in the unspace. We saw Jumpstream be able to teleport into the
Yeah,
unspace. And so I thought
interesting.
that was really interesting to hit right off the bat and mention it
Mm-hmm.
so specifically after we had spent the last like 5 issues of the previous series talking about
Hey,
unspace.
clickbait.
Yeah.
Clickbait.
Yeah.
I have a fun fact for you to read for
Oh, wait.
next volume that's related to
Oh, yeah?
that. Oh yeah.
Do they do
Hold
that?
out the
It's
way.
like they
You're
planned
They
it.
wanted to.
spoiling.
They
You're
wanted
spoiling
to. Yeah, they
things.
wanted to. Anyway, moving on. So, as they were crashing, the Maximals left the protoforms in orbit to keep them safe, because, safety. And we are quickly, after they crash, introduced to the Vok, a mysterious race of energy beings that seem to be the ones responsible for this planet the Maximals and Predacons find themselves on. Any theories, anyone?
Oh, I can't say my theories because it's gonna be spoilers. I know what the
Well,
Vok
pretend you
are, and
don't.
I'm
Pretend you don't. Just like
okay.
come at it as your first
Uh-huh.
approach here, like unawares.
Uh-huh. As though I've never seen Beast Wars ever in my entire life. Um, Mysterious floating alien heads. Perhaps they will cause mischief. Question mark. No, I'm just really excited to see them.
I thought it was interesting how tarantulas could detect them, not necessarily as an energy signature, but as like an energy void. So I thought that was really cool. And
It
I'm
was
wondering if
wasn't it
again
Scorponok?
it was somebody.
Um,
It might have been
I
Scorponok.
believe
No,
I believe Tarantulas was researching it.
I think Scorponok may have detected it, but Tarantulas was focusing on it because they had an exchange. Him and Dinobot had an exchange about it.
Yeah, because he had limited time to look into it.
Yeah, before
Yeah.
the signatures vanished completely. But I thought that was cool. I don't know anything about the Vok at all.
Yeah.
They're
Very
that right there
mysterious.
is why I'm so excited they added them into this because the Vok have never been used, as far as I'm aware,
Yeah.
past Beast Wars.
And hopefully they actually get explained in this, unlike the show. The show, they were
Yeah,
just
'cause
a
they're
huge mystery. They were there and then they never were spoken of again.
exactly.
Yeah.
And they weren't even spoken about in Beast Machines either.
Mhm.
So I am so excited to see them here, and I cannot wait to see what they do with them.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see about that. But I don't know much about the Vok either. I know that they're in Beast Wars, but I thought it was a cool setup for starting off. You introduce the conflict between the Predacons and the Maximal, but then you've hinted that there's a third party that's eventually going to join. So you're always going to be like on the lookout for that, and I think that really helps propel the issues and kind of keep readers interested when you kind of put that little hint there and kind of get them ready for that.
Yeah. So moving us forward, Nyx, our new recruit or new bot here for the Maximal side of things, gets botnapped after her and Pterosaur both scout for their teams, but most importantly, Megatron has a rubber ducky.
Yes, I was
Yes,
so excited about
Exaki.
this.
Yes.
I very much enjoyed this. I also liked how instantly, like, we're hardly even into issue 2, and this even happened in issue 1. They're already drawing lines, and they're already adding tension amongst the Predacon ranks. Megatron's already beating up on his own crew. There's dissension. Think it's super interesting how they're already drawing those very clear group and leader dynamic differences, and then pitting them
Mhm.
against each other. It's
Oh,
already
yeah.
setting up super great mechanics. I love it.
And they make a reference to the original show. I think it's episode 2 or part 2 of Beast Wars, where we see a similar arc between the similar characters. And this happens a couple times in this volume, but most importantly is the Dinobot's honorable code and Optimus
Mhm.
Primal. And then Dinobot doesn't believe in torture, and it's great stuff.
Dinobot's character arc is one of my favorites in general for any franchise. I think they do him in such a phenomenal way. And seeing the difference in his personality in these comics, I like it. He's much more relaxed. He's not nearly as aggressive. He still has that aggressive trait, and he can be that way, but he definitely seems to just be more open and outspoken, which is kind of interesting to see, not nearly as closed off. And seeing how much more focus he puts on honor here in the comics as opposed to the original show, because he had his honor thing in the show. It was not nearly as prominent as it is
He's
in these
very
comics.
vocal about it.
So
He's very vocal about it,
yeah,
even just so far. And it's really cool to see him right off the bat be like, oh, I have no problem killing people and, committing these more Predacon style things, but it's going to be done right and it's going to be done with honor. And we're not going to kill somebody who's defenseless because of my honor. And so it's super fun to see him immediately question not the what, but the why.
Yes, which is always
exactly.
important.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm trying to think of in this show because I feel like it definitely was quicker in these issues for Dinobot to kind of decide to leave the Predacons than in the show, and they definitely mixed it up here where Nyx is the one that gets captured, and I think in the show it might have been Cheetor, but I could be wrong. I like how they've switched it around where it's like it's not like on the show, but it still kind of has an influence and it kind of same style as what happened in the show. Yeah.
Little nods.
Yeah, and in the show they had Dinobot came out and immediately like verbally assaulted Megatron, and then Megatron kicked his butt. And then in the next like episode or two is when Cheetor got snatched, but they do make a reference to that later in the show,
Right.
or in the comics,
In the
which
comics,
is cool.
Okay.
Yeah, and it didn't happen so much in the first one, but in the second issue, I really like how like a lot of their personalities started coming out. Like they have the Cheetor and
Yes.
Rat Traps back and forth.
Mhm.
We also get some new ones such as Nyx, which is kind of like the newest rookie. This version of Primal feels more like a rookie compared to the one in the show. It almost reminds me of
absolutely.
like
He does.
animated Prime.
He does.
Yeah.
I got the same
Yes.
vibe. I got the same vibe.
I do really enjoyed Dinobot taking Scold and throwing it at Megatron and reminding me of being blue shelled.
Yeah.
Gosh,
The
what
famous
is that?
human game, I think it's the carts of
That's a
the
human game, yeah.
Mario.
Yeah, Mario cards. Or is it
Yeah,
Wario?
Yeah, the Mario.
cards?
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds right.
Is it upside
Don't look
down
it
or
up.
right side up?
I feel
Wario,
like
It's
you-
Wii.
Mario, Wii.
I feel like
Oh,
whoever
Wii.
throws that
humans
is
and their
always
letters.
cheating because they always get it, you know?
They always get it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
With the references with the Optimus from animated being the rookie, you can also see it with Megatron, and they keep the yes with the little
Yeah.
yes that he does in the
Yes,
show and all that.
they
So
do. That's
I like
so
that
fun.
they spice it up, but they keep certain things on there. So I think the writers have done an amazing job with it.
Oh yeah.
I feel like the
Oh,
writers
absolutely.
are definitely fans of the show and or are very well versed in it because they seemed to be very generous with the nods and the verbiage and keeping the characters consistent, if not more so entrenched in the values that they have become so beloved for in the show.
Yeah, I think there's a little note in one of the issues that says like all the writers and artists
Mhm.
love the show, and so they wanted to do something amazing
Issue
for
one-
the fans. So
Issue 1 has the note, which I put a comment on in my notes. And then the rest of the issues have the maximal mailbox or mailbag. And I think that's absolutely great where they include like some fan art and just some
Oh
Q&A.
yeah.
I think it's so great that they're incorporating kind of like some fan outreach with this and demonstrating that they really do care about the input that the fans have. And so I thought that was really cool for them to do.
yeah,
Yeah. And I really enjoyed like they incorporating new things along with it, so it's not the same old. Like I really enjoyed Dinobot because everyone has like their internal computer that's connected to the web essentially, and he's using it like OK Google as a search engine to help Nyx get back to her
Yes.
maximal ship.
was
And when
great.
she was heavily damaged and passed out, and I particularly like Megatron's comeback to Scorponok after he said something about evenly matched at tracking with Dinobot and makes it like now we know
Yes.
you can find excuses, pretend Dinobots are one of
Yeah.
You're
those.
stealing my quick quotes. How dare you?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Maybe you can say them again.
they're quick
The,
quotes, right? They're not clickbait, so you got to be quick about
They
it.
Yeah.
are clickbait's quick
Yeah.
quotes. You're not supposed to use them until
And
we're not supposed to do them
The
until
other
end.
nod where Cheetor and Dinobot make or remake a classic scene from the original show, and they give like a subtle nod of like deja vu. Like I feel like we've done this before.
The just to kind of touch on the use of the personal computers, it's I have to agree, it's actually very interesting seeing all of the characters interact with their personal computers in a completely different manner, because obviously the computer was important in the original show because it was kind of telling you more information about the characters, like oh, this guy's about to pass out because he's really damaged, but seeing that used, like you said, as an OK Google kind of way in the comics is just really fascinating. I really enjoyed that. And just to kind of touch on one more thing from the original series, in the original series they were obviously on prehistoric Earth.
Right.
This version, I honestly genuinely don't know if they're on prehistoric Earth, because there was like a cool saber cat thing, and then later on there's like an alligator thing. Those aren't Earth creatures.
That we
What
know,
are
that we
those?
know of.
Yeah, that
you
we
know,
know
like,
of.
you know.
Maybe they all got wiped out. Who knows?
Yeah.
But Earth is
It
weird.
could be. I mean, it does have the high energon levels, and like that could have mutated plenty of things. So I mean, in prehistoric times, it could have had that effect, and then over time, it could have, as the energon levels died off, then it could have eased off of and mutated back the other. I don't know. We're trying to logic it
Or it's
again.
an alt timeline.
Ooh, or an alternate.
Yes, no,
or
see,
they
and
traveled
that's the
through
thing is,
alternate Earth because they traveled through space and time.
Exactly.
There's so many different possibilities, and I think that's really interesting because having been a Beast Wars fan, I came into this just assuming they were going back to prehistoric Earth, and then I see the saber cat thing that is not an actual Smilodon, and I was like, what what is
You
that?
have me intrigued. Where are we going now?
Where are we?
Where are we?
This isn't Earth.
I wonder if they'll find a castle of Grayskull, but who knows?
Oh my
Any
God.
favorite scenes during the Predacon assault on the Maximals, both sides in and out of the Axelon? I really enjoyed
Yes.
that Rat Trap finds a bigger machine to operate to fight off tarantulas, similar to,
That was a lot of
who
fun. That was a lot
knows,
of fun.
aliens?
Yeah, that was pretty good. I have to say I was a big fan of the entire section towards the end of the fight where they finally got the shields up and all the Maximals got inside of the shields and then Nyx realized that Dinobot couldn't get in there.
Mhm.
That was such a nice moment. I really like the relationship between Nyx and Dinobot. I think it's really interesting. And then my boy got stabbed.
Yeah.
Right in the
And
back.
that's
like
the
it.
end for Dinobot. Next on.
But the good thing, the great thing, right? We got Blue Energon back.
I love blue
I love it when they
I
bleed
love
blue.
Energon.
I don't
It's
like
so
how
the
you
news
cool.
I
said
wasn't
that.
expecting to
Yeah,
hear
that was
today.
a sentence I'm worried about.
It's okay,
Huh.
don't worry about it.
Guys, it's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah, I really enjoyed how they showed immediately there's one group who wants to take care of their own and wants to protect everybody, and then there's another group that's willing at the drop of a hat to just turn completely. And you have that moment where the Predacons are waiting and the Maximals are waiting and they realize Dinobot can't get through and they're just waiting, and then they're like, "Oh my goodness, what do we do? Like, we drop the shields and let the Predacons come in, and they're trying to find this middle ground where they're not going to lose any of their core group, but they're also not going to throw away the basically sacrifice that Dinobot has made to save Nyx and help defend the Maximals, because at this point, we're seeing this younger Optimus Primal who's not really a trained warrior against Megatron. And so it was really interesting to see that.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
well, going back to the fight, I like Scold. Scold
Oh,
was
yeah, I like
fighting
them.
I
Rhinox,
love her.
and Rhinox is like, "Oh, this one's almost as strong as me," and then Scold just goes, "Almost," and then just punches him. It was great. So we haven't seen much
She's a
of Scold,
tank.
but I really like her design, and I'm really excited to find out more.
Yeah, Scold and Nyx are both really cool characters. I love both of them
I need
to a
toys
ridiculous
now,
amount.
Hasbro toys.
I know.
Get
Come
on
on.
it. Snap,
Where
snap.
were they?
So anything we want to circle back to or make note of? That's the end of my notes. That's pretty much the end. Like they save Dinobot and turn him into.
Dinobot.
They don't turn him into a Maximal, but he joins the Maximals, and they tell the ship's computer's shield is like, this guy, yeah, don't worry about him. He can come in and out of the shield now.
Do you like the backstory of the Dinobots that Optimus tells Dinobot? So that was pretty cool. I don't know if it's supposed to be referencing Grimlock and all that, but because the character on there kind of looks like Grimlock, but it definitely looks stylized a lot different. But I really like that little backstory and I want to find out more about that.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, no, I'm
Yeah,
glad
I
they just
agree.
they finally mentioned it because they never mentioned it in the original show, even though they talk about the Autobots and Decepticons. They never mentioned the Dinobots, and I'm like, homie, you literally named yourself after like a squad. So I'm glad they talked about it.
I feel like he doesn't even know. Like, he's like, I don't know who the Dinobots are. And Optimus Primal
Whoa.
is like, he's like,
I just read it on a
listen,
newspaper and I
buddy.
thought it was cool.
I found it on a piece of paper.
Guys, no, I love you. You can't slander him. He's a historian.
late.
He's
It's
He
happened.
literally
He's
said,
a nerd.
he literally, Primal asked him, he was like, do you know the significance of the name Dinobot? He's like, nah.
Okay, well, maybe in these
got
he's
you
not
there.
a historian, but he was a historian.
Well, survey says incorrect.
He
Anyway,
was a historian.
I need to know what a meta disco is. Okay. I need more about it. We need to go. We need to do one of these. And then I do want to circle back really quickly just to how in issue 3, when they're doing like the interrogation and they're focusing a little bit more on the Predacons for a second, they're taking, like we mentioned earlier, those core characteristics they see, like, Tarantulas being the mad scientist and being a little bit crazy, and Megatron being that more vicious ruler. They take it and they just go 110% with it. And I thought that was really cool. It was very dark for a third issue in a new series, but I liked it because they balanced it on the other side with the Maximals.
Oh yeah.
The goody two shoes.
We got the bad boys, and then we got the goody two shoes.
Goody two shoes.
If
Yes.
that's it for notes, shall we head into clickbait quick quotes?
One last thing, and then we'll go to
One
the
last thing?
quotes.
Okay.
Yeah, just because we were talking about the bad boys and the goody two shoes. Well, the bad boys, well, they were stuck in the ship because of Dinobot. They were playing cards, which
So
looked kind of
good.
adorable.
I did, didn't
Yeah,
it? It was good.
Yeah.
I do like that some of them have like friendships in between each other. I like that Waspinator and Pterosaur are homies. I like that
Mhm.
Scorponok and Scold are homies. I like that Tarantulas is just a loner, but sometimes he hangs out with Megatron, and Megatron just hates everybody.
Ooh, are they homies?
I love that Megatron just hates everything.
I don't know if they're
I-
homies.
yeah, I don't know if they're homies. I think you should read some more.
Yeah.
Moving on to Clickbait's quick.
Anyways, it is time for personally my favorite part of the
Bias.
the issue review here. Bias. Listeners, let us know whether or not Clickbait's quick quotes is your favorite part of the episode, because let's be real, it is. Anyways, diving right into Clickbait's quick quotes. Our first quick quote of the night is from issue number 1, and it is spoken by both Cheetor and Primal when they are attempting to prepare to engage the dark side as it is coming out of the transwarp drive use. Oh no, it's getting ready after it hasn't transwarp drive
Darkseid,
yet.
the Predacon ship, right?
Yes,
Yes.
dark side.
Yeah, the
I
Axolon on
remembered
the dark
that, so
side.
I'm very
Mhm.
proud of myself.
I was
Anyways,
making sure
I'm
the
proud of
listeners knew.
you.
Making sure the listeners knew. I knew. I was
Cheetor-
just asking a question
Uh-huh.
nicely.
I'm sure.
I'm sure
Asking
you
for a
knew. You
friend.
totally knew. Absolutely. Primal tells Cheetor to engage the defenses, and he says, "You do know most of our weapons are strictly for defense, right?" And Primal comes back with, "If there's one thing I've learned, it's that being ready to shoot first is a fantastic defense." I thought that was hysterical. And then the
So
second
good.
one, second one occurs also in issue number 1. It is spoken by Megatron and Scorponok, and it is after they have engaged the Axolon, and Megatron goes, "What are you fools doing?" Because for some reason they cannot shoot down this light research cruiser. And Scorponok says, "It's not my fault they won't stay still long enough to get blasted, and Waspinator can't shake them." And I thought that was funny because instantly we're throwing shade. And it's, of course, they're not going to stay still. They're in an evasion chase. What even is Scorponok on?
Well,
And
it's
the
the
third
lost
one-
light.
Throwing
so-
shade and comebacks.
Yeah, it's great. The third one is spoken by Nyx during her interrogation, and I thought it was really cool when Megatron asks her, "Well, so what do you have to say?" And she's like, "I have something to say." And she says, "History barely remembers the original Megatron. It's never going to remember you." And I feel like that
Oof.
drives Megatron's actions for like the rest of the issue, because he goes so much more aggressively into every decision after this. And I think that this decision is going to help that line is going to help impact his decision making process, at least indirectly, going forward. And then my final one is from issue 6, spoken by Optimus Primal. During their battle, Megatron is on his battle bender. He's doing his soliloquy, his battle posturing, and Optimus goes, "Megatron, you talk too much," as he just starts beating him up. And it's great. I love it. A classic. And that is all of the quick quotes that I have for tonight.
Nice. They're really good ones.
We need
Thank
to
you.
change the
Thank you,
title.
Ryan.
They're really just clickbait quotes. They're not quick anymore. Drop the quick part. Anyway, are we ready for Rodstar Rating?
Let's do it.
We're ready.
Primus.
Yeah,
Spilled my
baby.
drink.
All right, Lapis.
Yeah.
We'll pick it on you first.
Yeah.
Out of 5.
Yeah. 10.
Oh, my Primus.
That's
I was
not
about to
gonna
Can't
say
do
work.
it's
that.
probably.
That doesn't count. You're gonna
5.
get
5 out of
disqualified.
5 broad stars. I love Beast Wars. I love everything about Beast Wars. I'm probably the biggest Beast Wars nerd ever. I've watched it at least 3 times a year, every single
Oh my
year since
goodness.
I was very young. I live and breathe Beast Wars. It is my biggest obsession. I love it. 5 out of 5. I think they did a really good adaptation here. I've seen stuff where I've been less happy about characterizations in the past, and I think they nailed it in this comic series so far. I'm super excited to see where it goes. I love the new additions of Scold and Nyx. I love the characterizations, the designs, the story. I love it. It's great. Next person.
Yeah.
Listeners, if there's one of you that begs to differ, who's the bigger fan, put it in the comments, please.
I'll throw hands. I'll find you.
This volume was I really enjoyed it. I really liked the story that they're telling, and it kind of kept me engaged. And I like that they have hints of the original cartoon, but they're mixing it up, twist turns, and added new characters. So I would say it's a 5 out of 5 for me.
Yes, join me.
Clickbait?
I also really enjoyed these first 6 issues. I do feel like they tried to cover a lot all at once, and there's a couple things they kind of ended up brushing over. I feel like we've gotten a really great introduction to the dynamics between these characters, but I feel like I said before, they kind of jumped through a lot of different spots, so they could have taken probably a little bit more depth into all of these. Comics felt a little bit short. These issues felt a little bit short. So it was quality. I liked it, like the art, like the story, like the characters. I do feel like there's a couple things they brushed over that would have given more light to the story for those who aren't as familiar with Beast Wars. So I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5.
Yeah, that's fair. That's pretty fair. I really enjoy these comics. I don't think I have a whole lot negative to say at all, if anything. The only thing I would say is probably something similar. Like the first issue is kind of like you would have to read not only the first issue, you would have to read the second and third to probably get hooked in, because the first one doesn't really give you too much details, and the second one's like mostly like a little more mystery and bot napping, but you don't know these characters well enough yet. But I think 4.5 is good. It's a strong start, and it's a really good adaptation of Beast Wars. Yeah.
I concur.
What's your rating? I don't think you ever said.
It's
He said
4.5.
4 to 5.
4.5.
Yeah.
Oh, must have
But
spaced there.
listeners, what did you think of these comics? How many Rod stars would you give it? Let us know by leaving a comment below. Now, we have some important news for you listeners. We appreciate you, but we have a new schedule. A lot of us are a little more busy than we used to, so we're going to be probably releasing our comic reviews every other week. And season 5 will cover multiple continuities. So the first 5 episodes are going to be Beast Wars exclusive. We're going to do 4, which is one for each volume and the annual. And then the final one will be the review of the entire continuity. And then we'll take a little break and then we'll dive into the next continuity. Is that what we talked about, Kilo?
I think so. I think that's
so.
correct.
Okay, good. Cool. I won. Okay, here we go.
Breathe,
If
Onyx,
you would like to get
breathe.
in contact, sorry, the shots are really hitting now.
The shots are
If
hitting
you want
hard.
to get in contact with us, you can send us an email at swervebarpodcast@gmail.com. That is SWERVESBAR podcast@gmail.com. Awesome. Fantastic.
How do you spell that so quickly?
Practice.
I mean,
Practice.
He's been
Lessons from
doing this
Blur.
for 4 seasons
Lessons from
already.
Blur. Yeah.
it's not that
So-
hard. SWERVESBAR podcast. Like you can do it fast.
Okay, show off. Okay.
Maybe a little bit.
Since season 4, which has been a couple of weeks, almost a month and a half, any new toys, pick one, that you like to talk about.
So
That
many.
you have.
I got one.
Pick one. Save the rest for the other one. Lapis, you go first. You're your guest.
You put me on the spot now.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm scared. Oh, okay, I'll say one. I like the Rescue Bots Chase figure that was just released. I think it's phenomenal. I don't have it yet. I want it. He's gorgeous. I can't wait to see if they do the rest of the Rescue Bots because I think they're really fun characters. And I want to see them more. Give me more Rescue Bots.
Lapis, you have to have it.
Yeah, you have to have it to
don't
talk
have
about it.
You have to have it.
Well,
you don't
That's
get to
how
talk
show
about
and
it if you
tell
don't have
I've
it.
seen it.
Yeah, that's how
I've
that's how
seen
this
it.
works.
No, it
I've-
doesn't
I've
count. You have to
held
have
it.
it. You have to have it
All right.
in your hands.
Well, Lapis, we'll
Wait,
get
no,
you next
okay,
time,
I changed
Lapis.
my mind. No,
Too
I
late.
changed my
Save
mind.
it for next one.
I like the Beast.
Clickbait,
No,
you're
the
next.
Beast Wars Inferno. The Beast Wars Inferno figure. I have it right now. He's really cool. I think he's big. He's large. I love him. Give him a kiss. Mwah.
My new figure that I'm gonna spotlight is the Fall of Cybertron Optimus Prime. I think it's a really fun figure. It's pretty sturdy. It's not quite as sturdy as the original line of figures, but it is lots of fun. I like the transformation. Stout, compact, sturdy figure. I like it. It's fun. And I think that's the shortest I've ever talked about a figure. So I could.
It really
Go
is. I
on.
was
It's
expecting
weird.
more. That's why I got real
Um,
quiet. I'm like, the moment I start talking, Clickbait's gonna be like, I still going.
Yeah, but I mean, it's really cool. I like he
See,
comes
there
with
it
his
is.
little his ion cannon accessory. It's super fun. I have him standing next to my original Fall of Cybertron. Optimus and next to my Seekers, and so it's a fun comparison. He's a little bit shorter, but it's still fun. I like it.
Killobyte?
Cool.
And
Well.
then there's no, I'm just kidding.
No, save it for next time.
Well, what humans called birthday just happened. Not gonna say when.
Solar cycle?
And my birth cycle, yes. And my friend Onyx gave me a lovely Windblade for Transformers Legacy, and I really like her. She looks very cute, very postable. I'm very excited to finally have a Windblade toy in my possession. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. Most certainly.
Yours is on the way, Kilo. The Cybertron post got delayed. There was acid rain on pickup day, and so
Oh, wow.
it's on the way. Yes.
Oh,
that's
I
dangerous.
think I heard like a little guy might have gotten into a little red dragonfly might have
Those-
taken a chunk out of that.
Oh no.
Those
So,
acid
you might
storms
wanna keep
really
your-
cause troubles.
It really
you might want to keep
do.
your optics out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I got a few of them, but I'll start with the TFCon Orlando exclusive Slipstream. That's
What
not what
kind
they
is it
called
from?
it, but that's who it is. Yeah, I got it from. Well, I was busy. Someone else got it, and I bought it off them.
That
It looks
sounds fun.
fantastic. Yeah, yeah. It's pretty much the Meteor X mold, but with different wings. Fantastic posability. I like it when all the toys can, like, their fingers can articulate all of them. So we can point and hold the accessories. Yeah.
What mix are you?
Onyx is
Yeah.
Way
Not
too much.
I think he's.
Tuesday.
I think he's ready to
we're
go
gonna
take a
have to
power
Yeah.
nap.
you off.
I
Doing
think he
great,
needs to
doing great.
recharge a little bit.
Great stuff. Anyway, moving along. Are you all ready for Transformers Beast Wars issues 7 through 12?
I'm ready.
I'm
I'm
so
ready.
ready.
I'm always ready.
I'm the most ready.
Fantastic. So, if you've enjoyed this episode, consider sharing it with your friends and subscribing. If you want to help out the show even further, we have started a Patreon. All the proceeds go to supporting the show and keeping the lights on. Of course, we have other forms of gratitude to offer, such as 3D files, entry to the Discord channel, and pins. We also have a Redbubble where you can order t-shirts and shower curtains, which I've been meaning to get. Who knows? Anyway, and you also get early access to our comic review videos a week before their public release. And as always, we hope you are all staying safe out there. Thank you so much for listening. Till all are one.
Till
Till
Till all are one.
are one. And I am taking that Energon shot glass away from you. You cannot have any more.
I'm gonna pull out my secret one underneath the table.
And I'm gonna take that one too. No more for you. You need to take a break. Have a cup of oil first.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Swerve Podcast, and even on Tumblr. Yes, with everything going on, Twitter, we figured we should cover our bases. Speaking of which, you can also find us on Twitter at Swerve, if that's still a thing. If you're interested in more content, try checking out our spin-off D&D series, Transform and Roll Out. Season 3, titled Eons, is out now. Let's tune in to a preview now.
Respectable,
Ooh, nice.
respectable.
Did you roll 2 d20s?
No, oh, shiza. Hold on a second.
And he turns to you, Mantix. Looking for something?
Depends.
Who's that old? It's an adult diaper joke. She said depends. Never mind.
Did you? Okay, got it. I
Wow.
thought it was, and I was like, wait a minute.
It's poo-poo humor. You see, descending from the heavens, like the angel he is, one Emperor Starscream. Citizens of Cybertron, place down your weapons. Especially you, you interdimensional weirdo.
How strange. I don't understand why anyone would tune in into such make-believe content. Perhaps it's the voice actors that makes special appearances sometimes. Oh well. Tune into their YouTube channel that has bonus content such as video games containing phony comments, convention videos, and trendy shorts. A link will be provided below. And if you're inclined, check out their Redbubble, where you can get pins, t-shirts, and more, or subscribe to their Patreon to access their Discord and listen to content before it's released to the public. More links will be provided below. End transmission.